Hi, my name's Jillian Wright, and for my IS Day project, I decided to draw my life. So it all started February 17th, 1998 in San Diego, California, and I came out with a huge head of black hair, which is funny because I'm blonde now. But yeah, that's how it came out. So once I got out of the hospital, I went home and lived with my mom and my two big dogs, Miles and Vaughn. We had these neighbors who had a big tree in their backyard that we could see from our backyard, and they decided it would be a great idea to hang mannequin heads in it. And my mom already thought that the neighborhood was pretty sketchy, so she packed up our stuff and moved us out to another house in Claremont before I was even a year old. Fast forwarding about 3 years to preschool, and I had lots of friends. We were little kids, we all got along, but there was this one boy with a bowl cut named Brent, and Brent must have broken one of my crayons or something, because one day I told him, "I'm going to make you bleed," and I set down a rock and said, "You're going to trip over this." And sure enough, Brent later that day tripped over that rock, and he bled. So when I was 5, it was time to start elementary school, and I was really scared because I didn't know anybody there, but soon enough I did make friends, and I even had a little boyfriend. It was kind of ridiculous, but there you have it. Also, when I was 5, I started dance, and I really loved it, and it was one of my favorite things to do. And when I was in 2nd grade, this girl named Hannah, who went to my school in my after-school care, joined my tap class, and I had never really talked to her before, but we recognized each other and we instantly became best friends, and we continued to be best friends for the rest of elementary school. So things went pretty great for me for the first 5 years of elementary school. I had lots of friends and I got straight A's all the time, and I really loved it. But when 5th grade came, these girls who I thought were my friends all of a sudden started to turn on me, and they would really bully me, and that was the first time I had really experienced bullying, and I made a bunch of excuses why I didn't want to go to school. And I had also that year reached out to my dad because I wanted to know who he was, and meeting him left me with so many unanswered questions, and I started having some pretty dark thoughts at a young age, and it was horrible. But when middle school came around, I decided to switch neighborhoods, and I went to Muirlands Middle School in La Jolla, and I was really scared. My self-confidence had been knocked down so much, and for the first week I really just kept to myself, and I didn't really talk to anybody or reach out to anybody to make friends. But that changed a couple weeks in when I met this girl named Alyssa, and she was super crazy and super loud and really fun, and she asked me if I wanted to be her friend, so naturally I said yes, and she's been one of my best friends ever since, even still to this day. So after that, I started to kind of talk a little bit, and I met a bunch of new people like Jordan and Melanie, and also Brent went to my middle school, and so I started talking to him again. It was really cool, and things were starting to look up. I was happy. So after Vaughn and Miles passed away, we moved to this new apartment in Mission Valley, and they only allowed cats. So I'd never had a cat before, but we got a cat, and her name was Tiger Lily, and I really loved her. And a year later, we got another cat, and we named him Tom, and he's really fat and fluffy. And we waited too long to get Tommy fixed, so we ended up having 4 kittens, and we kept one of the kittens. She was the runt, and we named her Daisy, and that's how I became a crazy cat lady. So even though things were going pretty great for me, I still really struggled with things like depression and anxiety, and when I was with my friends, I was totally happy. I always smiled, but as soon as I was alone, I would have these crazy panic attacks, and it was really horrible, and it was the scariest thing ever. But then it was time to go to high school, and I stayed in the same neighborhood, unlike when I switched to middle school. And even though I still kept my old friends, obviously, I also met some new people in my new classes, and they were really cool, and soon I met their friends, and I started hanging out with them more and eating lunch with them, and soon enough, I was an honorary band geek. And even though I still struggled with my depression, things got a lot better, and I started to really feel like myself again, and I hadn't felt like that in a long time, so it was great. But towards the end of ninth grade, 3 days before my 15th birthday, my grandma passed away, and it hit me really hard because I was really close with her, and she was also the first family member I had ever had die, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. But I had a lot of supportive family and friends, and knowing that my grandma was not in pain anymore and that she was looking down on me and that she was happy again, it really helped me get through it. And even though I still think about her every day, I think about the amazing times I had with her rather than her passing. So here I am now. It's 10th grade and things are going great, and I've been making great progress and really learning how to love myself again. So I'm looking forward to what the future has in store for me.